Just common sense conservatives who are saying that the Prime Minister's latest tax hike on small businesses, farmers, home builders, and healthcare is not worth the cost. Now, former Liberal Treasury Board President Scott Bryson says the Prime Minister's support for the tax hike is a combination of moral sanctimony and economic complacency from ministers who simply do what PMO tells them. He calls it socialist bafflegab. Why is the Prime Minister going ahead with killing jobs and raising costs with what his own Liberals call socialist bafflegab?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, despite the Conservative leader's partisan attacks, the raise on capital gains inclusion rates is very simple. If Canadians make more than $250,000 in profit from selling investments in a given year, we're asking them to share a little more of those profits with Canadians who need those investments, whether it's by investing in housing, whether it's standing up for school food programs, whether it's delivering dental care to seniors. These are investments we're making to support Canadians by asking the wealthiest to pay their fair share.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
It's not partisanship for me. It's his own former Liberal Treasury Board President who calls it socialist bafflegab. In fact, the tax begins applying on the very first dollar that a small business earns. And, you know, he's been promising that raising taxes would make life fair. We find out today from the Food Banks Association of Canada that now a record-smashing 25% of Canadians live in poverty after 9 years of his taxes, his deficits, and his doubling housing costs. Why is he going ahead with the same wackonomics that caused the poverty in order to solve it?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition talks about affordability, but he's standing against raising taxes on the wealthiest so we can give more supports to those who actually need it. He's standing against our school food program, which is going to help 400,000 kids across the country have fuller bellies as they study, and take the pressure off about $800 a year for families who are pressed with the cost of groceries. We're continuing to deliver dental care supports to seniors, and as of next week, to young people and Canadians with disabilities. We're there for Canadians. He's voting against it.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
It has been 9 years of this Prime Minister promising trickle-down economics, that if he just takes money away from small businesses and workers, it will go from one level of government to another level of government to another level of government. It will trickle down. And now 25% of Canadians are living in poverty, something he tried to cover up, just like he covered up his own data showing $25 billion of extra costs with the carbon tax, nearly $2,000 in carbon tax cover-up for every single family. How can we trust anything he says about taxes, poverty, or money?
Hear, hear. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition hid for 8 weeks while he was trying to come up with an answer to us asking the wealthiest to pay their fair share so we could invest in fairness for every generation. I think he needs to go back to the drawing board because his answer is completely illogical and unfounded. The reality is, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to delivering for Canadians struggling with food prices, we've got a national school food program that's going to help 400,000 kids that party is voting against, Mr. Speaker. They talk about affordability, but they're actually only interested in themselves and their political advantage.
He just literally described himself.
L'honorable député de Saint-Jean.
The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. The Premier of British Columbia, David Eby, wrote to the Prime Minister to ask him to share more information and share information better about foreign interference with his province. Now, we know that with foreign interference, the Prime Minister isn't very proactive. He prefers to just close his eyes and wait for things to calm down. What we've seen is that foreign interference is not limited to the federal government. It can impact many orders of government. So why does the Prime Minister refuse to share critical information about foreign interference with premiers and provinces? The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Actually, a decent question.
On the contrary, Mr. Speaker, we are working with intelligence services and with CSIS to be able to share classified secret information with provincial premiers so that we can better work together on this very real matter, this problem, the problem of foreign interference. We have also created many mechanisms and institutions to counter foreign interference. More than any government before us, we will continue to be transparent and thorough in countering foreign interference. I thank the Bloc Québécois leader for proceeding to get security clearance, and we hope the Conservative leader will do the same. The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Well, the Prime Minister's dilly-dallying has had consequences. He refused to give information about the Winnipeg National Laboratory until ordered to do so. Also, there were problems with lack of collaboration with provinces when it comes to information sharing. The Prime Minister is as much part of the problem as he is part of the solution. He needs to step up. What is he waiting for to give Quebec and the provinces the information that he has? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, Bill C-70 that we just passed through the House with the support of the Bloc Québécois and that has been sent to the Senate for further study. Well, Bill C-70 seeks to enhance information sharing with provincial and territorial premiers, information sharing when it comes to foreign interference or any national security threats. Through the bill, we would share information more often and more consistently. We are working respectfully and in cooperation in order to protect our democracy together as a team.
For 3 months, this Prime Minister has known about serious allegations that parliamentarians are knowingly working with foreign governments to undermine our country. Yet we don't know if he's had a single conversation with any member of his caucus. And the Conservative Party leader doesn't even want to know about serious allegations of foreign interference that directly impact their party. Why do both of these leaders put the interests of their party in front of our country?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, as all parliamentarians know,
The Honourable Member from Battle River Crowfoot knows indeed that he should not be speaking at the time. So I'm going to ask the Honourable Member, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, to start from the top, please.
Mr. Speaker, all parliamentarians in this House know how important it is to protect our democracy from foreign interference. That is why we've been working together, whether it's on a National Security Committee of parliamentarians that we created over the objections of the Conservative Party, whether it's through strengthened mechanisms within our national security universe, but also through election interference monitoring by top public servants. We have taken more actions on preventing foreign interference than any other government, and we've continued to work with independent commissions like the public inquiry to get to the bottom of it.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
And not taking action.
For 3 months now, the Prime Minister has had information about allegations of parliamentarians knowingly helping India and China. The Prime Minister thinks he knows better than everyone, but he has failed to act. He's done nothing. And meanwhile, the Conservative leader is hiding because he does not want to know the truth. Why will neither of these leaders put Canada's best interests before their own best interests?